your experience in the field of marketing, how has your perception of your target audience been altered from how you viewed it as a journalist? Or how has it not been?
There isn't that much difference. There is a common perception that content marketing, or the jobs that are in the frame of content marketing, and online journalism are two different processes that are aimed at two different audiences, or two somewhat different audiences. They're not. What are the differences? Well, the tech hubs that originated the online journalism, those that are left, are using B2B content strategies to survive. The domains of the vendors are assuming the mantle of those B2B strategies, and they're doing a better job now than the tech hubs are in framing what the issues of the technology are. They're doing a better job at explaining to the reader, to the audience, who becomes the customer then, what that person needs to know. Now, that's what the tech hubs were doing, and they were doing it on behalf of the vendors when the vendors were sponsors. Now it's just happening over the other domain. There really isn't that much difference in the nature of the job. It's just now being done better by someone else. The technical changes in the job are largely on account of how Google changes the way it determines the leaders and the not so leaders in the PageRank algorithm, who comes first when you're looking for the answer to a question. And today, Google does not give the tech hubs the unfair advantage it once did. It doesn't say, oh, because you're TechCrunch, we're going to give you a pass. Now, you still see TechTarget on top of a lot of lists for what is a technology, what is 5G. And sometimes that's because it's been grandfathered in. Nobody has removed its authority points. But when TechTarget tries to do something new, when it tries to define a new concept, it's finding itself at a disadvantage against the vendors and the technology makers and some of the open source communities that are doing a heck of a lot better in defining some of these things for themselves. For heaven's sake, there are GitHub pages that are doing better than TechTarget on certain topics. If you understand the construction of the keywords, you can find them. This is exactly why what I did in the 90s, in the thousands, in the teens is translatable to today. It's not that different. It is producing content that is engaging. You use journalistic approaches because you want to tell the truth and you want to learn the truth from other people. So you're still a journalist. But you're telling a story that needs to be engaging to your audience. And for the tech hubs, it was because, we've got to show the sponsors that we're garnering readership. When the tech hubs evolved and were helping the vendors to establish value propositions, then we needed to use the tech hubs to demonstrate that we're engaging new customers for you. Well, now that the vendors do that better for themselves. It's a much more direct process, and there are fewer hops. So Google appreciates that. That's what makes this a different business. And that's all of what makes this a different business.